Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today, and we are starting with I would say, major announcement from Microsoft when it comes to more of their games coming to PlayStation 5. Yesterday, they announced Forza Horizon 5 is officially going to be releasing on PS5 in seemingly just a couple of months. Being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, it says Forza Horizon 5 is officially coming to the PlayStation, with Microsoft revealing the Forza Horizon 5 PS5 release date window and what fans can expect when the game arrives. In a recent post on X, the official Forza Horizon account revealed that the game will arrive on PlayStation 5 sometime in the spring. Better yet, for fans on PS5, the PlayStation version of the game will also include the same content as what's available on the Xbox and PC versions of the game. This means that nearly all 900 cars, updates, expansions, and more will arrive on the PS5 when the game launches. The game's previously released car packs, including things like the Hot Wheels and Rally Adventure expansions, will also be available for purchase on the PlayStation 5 version of the game. The PS5 version of the game is developed by Panic Button in partnership with Turn 10 Studios and Playground Games. The game will also be bringing cross-play to all platforms, allowing players from anywhere to get together and race or drive around with one another. So if you've been following this, Forza Horizon 5 coming to PS5 was actually rumored a couple months back. I think it was November of last year, but nothing came of it. People were expecting, if it was true, it was going to be announced at something like the Game Awards. Never happened. But it turns out it was true, and here we are at the very end of January. Microsoft officially announced it. It's worth noting that you can currently wishlist it on the PlayStation Store, and there are a couple of things that I think PS5 players are waiting to find out. Number one, is it going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced? As of right now, there is no confirmation of that. Number two, is there going to be a physical launch of this game? These are really the two things that I think we're waiting on. I would say the third thing is the price, right? I think right now Forza Horizon 5 is $30. So because it's going to be launching on the PS5 and Forza has never been on PlayStation before, I would expect it to be more expensive than that. That's just what I'm anticipating, maybe like $60 or $50. But yeah, this is, again, something that I think a lot of people were not necessarily expecting, even though we did just hear Phil Spencer make it clear that more games are going to come to PlayStation. I don't think anybody was necessarily anticipating that literally a couple of days later, one of the major pillar franchises for Microsoft was going to be announced to be coming to PS5. I wasn't expecting it, but here we are. But with this announcement, we have yet another insider coming in and talking about the next game that's apparently going to be announced, or a game that's going to be announced relatively soon, that's going to be coming to PS5 for Microsoft, that being Halo the Master Chief Collection. So this is actually coming from Windows Central's Jez Corden, where in a recent tweet from Okami Games, he asked audiences a simple question: Halo on PS5 is really happening, isn't it? As mentioned, Forza is widely considered one of Xbox's key franchises alongside the likes of Halo and Gears of War. The tweet calls the trio the Big Three, which is a pretty apt name considering how much they represent Microsoft's gaming brand. According to Windows Central's Jez Corden, the answer to the proposed question is yes, Halo the Master Chief Collection is coming to PS5. And so he says, yup, Master Chief Collection is first, I heard, but we'll see. So like basically Halo is going to come before Gears of War. Now, this is relevant to go over not only because of what we're seeing with Forza, but because we heard from Nate the Hate first that Halo the Master Chief Collection is one of the games that Microsoft is going to be bringing to PlayStation. And, you know, Forza is a very big deal. Halo is on a completely different level. There's still a lot of people that I think are just trying to wrap their head around the idea of Halo coming to PlayStation. It's quite monumental if you think about it, right? It's just one of those things that surely was never going to happen, never could happen. It's impossible, but apparently it's happening sooner than we think. It's actually going to happen before Gears of War. So we're just going to have to keep our eyes peeled and see when Microsoft announces this. One thing we learned with this Forza Horizon announcement is that these announcements can come out of nowhere, right? I was assuming that stuff like this would happen at events or whatever, But no, apparently Microsoft is just going to start announcing these games randomly on social media. But the last thing I want to go over regarding this topic is a new report that reveals PlayStation is behind 64% of the spending on Microsoft games last month. So if there's any wonder why Microsoft is doing this, here we go. Being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, it is no secret Microsoft's green gaming brand Xbox is spreading its game releases across several platforms. This includes the PS5, which has seen Xbox Game Studios release multiple titles on PlayStation platforms without any caveats. It seems this shift in strategy for Microsoft is paying off, as the company was the top games publisher in the world last month with $465 million spent on their games. This is partially thanks to PlayStation, which was responsible for 64% of consumer spending on Microsoft games in December. So what's interesting is the article uses the term partially responsible. It seems like PlayStation's mostly responsible. 64% is a huge chunk of that pie, man. That's over 50% by a significant margin there. So if there's any wonder why Microsoft is getting very aggressive, I mean very aggressive about bringing their games to PlayStation, it's because these are the results that they're seeing. PlayStation players are spending a lot of money on games. They're buying a lot of games, and anything that's coming from Microsoft, just like I think most other publishers find, is that, yeah, if you're dropping some good games or games that people want to play, they're likely going to buy them. There's a big audience here. There's a big consumer base, and so there you go, man. 64%, pretty huge number. But we are moving to the next topics here, which are very interesting because it seems like there are some things going on behind the scenes with Sony and their approach to PC. So the first thing we're going over is a new rumor that I came across on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit that says Demon's Souls is not in development for PC and Gran Turismo 7 is no longer coming to PC. So we do have to be careful with this rumor and take it with a grain of salt, because I think Icon Era is not really the most reliable source. It's not really a place that I think is sourced very often, but they do seem to have actual proof and evidence that where they're hearing this from, it's actually on good authority, because the same source that basically leaked out Returnal PC footage, or confirmed that Returnal was coming to PC well before it was announced, it's coming from that same source. It's also the same source that leaked Project Ooze, which is a game that's in development behind the scenes for PlayStation, and I think there was actually a little snippet of early footage that was leaked with that as well. So according to that same source, GT7 has been shelved for PC and Demon's Souls is not on the docket. This is really interesting timing, mainly because when we look at what just occurred with Spider-Man 2 launching on PC, well, let's kind of shift over to that now. Spider-Man 2 on PC has only reached a peak concurrent of 18,907 players, which is incredibly underwhelming when you consider that Spider-Man 1, when it launched on PC, peaked at 66,000 concurrent players. So there's a huge difference here, and it seems like there's way less interest in Spider-Man 2 on PC. And I have to imagine, and this is the most important part, considering Spider-Man 2 was the fastest from PS5 to PC launch we've seen so far, just 15 months since it launched on PS5, not 2 years, not 3 years, just a little over 1 year. I have to imagine Sony's expectations were much higher than this. But what makes things even stranger is the way in which Sony decided to market, or I guess I could say not market, Spider-Man 2 on PC. They didn't say anything until literally the day before, the 11th hour prior to its launch. There was no preload, no pre-orders, zero marketing. They didn't release the specs. They didn't tell you how much it's going to cost. They didn't do anything. They just kind of released it at the last minute, and you have to wonder why that is, right? Like, if Sony's looking at these numbers and they're underwhelmed with these numbers and they're like, these are not very good numbers at all, like, surely they're looking at the fact that they didn't market the game and they didn't talk about it and they just kind of pretended it didn't exist until the last minute. Maybe that has something to do with it. It's also worth noting that it's not getting good reviews. It's getting mixed reviews. It's at a 56%. Apparently, there's a lot of issues with this game, a lot of performance issues, a lot of crashing, people questioning what's going on. How did Nixxes mess this up? Nixxes was the one who ported this, and they're known to do very, very good ports. Like, they have a great reputation. So, all in all, it seems like what people are beginning to kind of take away from this is that something strange is going on behind the scenes with Sony and PC, maybe a potential pivot. Now, some people are thinking that this is a sign Sony's going to start walking away from PC. Others think it's the opposite. At this point in time, I think it's impossible to determine because we just saw that Sony is, announcing you don't need a PSN account for some of their games on PC. People think that maybe this is seeing a game like Spider-Man 2 underwhelm on PC like this. Maybe this will actually encourage them to want to go day and date quicker on PC, but at the same time, you have to question just how feasible that actually is, considering Nixxes wasn't able to apparently release this game in a good state. So I don't know, man. Just something we might want to keep in mind. I would say what we really want to pay attention to is getting more information on these PC port cancellations. If it's true that GT7 was canceled for PC and it's true that Demon's Souls is no longer coming to PC, that to me signals a potential shift in how Sony is going to approach PC going forward. But we're going to move on to the final topic here, which is just something very brief. Sony put out a post yesterday on the official PlayStation X account, and they say thank you for the fantastic response to the classic PlayStation, PS2, PS3, and PS4 limited time console themes, which will be leaving tomorrow or today. Due to the positive response on these 4 themes, we're doing some work behind the scenes to bring these special designs back in the months ahead. They also say while there are not plans to create additional themes in the future, we're excited to keep celebrating legacy PlayStation hardware with you all. So there you go, just an update directly from the official PlayStation X account, letting you know that these themes are going to go away temporarily. They're going to bring them back, probably because they want to remove the 30th anniversary branding around it and just let them exist on their own. Also confirming that right now there's no plans for different themes for the PS5. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.